All right, welcome back. If you've been following along with us, you have just completed a huge part of your learning journey. Seriously, pat yourself on the back. So before we jump into anything new, let's just take a second to look back at everything you've accomplished. Think of it like finishing a major quest in a video game. I mean, really think back to before you started all this. You'd feed some text into a model and poof, out comes a prediction. It probably felt like a complete black box, right? Something kind of magical even. But that's not you anymore, not at all. You've actually pulled back the curtain and you've seen the machinery humming away behind the scenes. Every great quest starts with gathering the right tools. And for you, that meant mastering the absolute building blocks. You were forging the fundamental knowledge you needed to work with these incredible models. Your very first tool was the transformer model itself. And you didn't just learn its name, you dug into its anatomy. By really understanding its core architecture, you've turned what was once a total mystery into a piece of engineering you can now confidently navigate. Next up, you mastered one of the most critical concepts in all of natural language processing, the tokenization pipeline. This is the essential translator, it's the bridge that turns our human language into a format the model can actually understand and process. Without this step, absolutely nothing else works. It's that important. And you know this process by heart now. You start with raw text, you split it up with a tokenizer, you convert those tokens into input IDs, and then finally you build the tensors that the model is waiting for. It is the critical bridge from our world to the model's world, and you now know exactly how to build it. But hey, tools are meant to be used, right? So the next part of your quest was all about putting that knowledge to work and getting your first real victory. You learned how to take pretty much any text, a sentence, a paragraph, you name it, and systematically convert it into the structured tensors a model needs. This translation from messy, unstructured data to clean, structured data is the foundational skill for pretty much every NLP task out there. And then, the payoff. You fed those tensors into the model and you got back a real prediction. That's the moment it all clicks, isn't it? The architecture, the tokenization, the tensors, everything working together in harmony to produce a result. That was your first big win. But of course, getting one result, that's just the beginning. You then moved beyond the basics to really start mastering the craft, tackling some of the more subtle and advanced challenges. Now, this is where things get really interesting, because it shows you've gone beyond just knowing how to do things, and you're starting to understand why. You learned about the limitations of just using input IDs by themselves, especially when you have sentences of different lengths. And then you learned the elegant solution, attention masks, which tell the model exactly which tokens it should pay attention to and which ones it should ignore. And on top of all that, you got your hands dirty with the tokenizer itself, right? You started exploring its different methods and configurations. You're not just using the default settings anymore, you actually know how to tweak the tool for your specific needs. And let me tell you, that is a sign of true expertise. So all of this, it brings us to today. And you haven't just finished a chapter, you've built an incredible launchpad for the road ahead. Just take a look at this list of accomplishments, from the high-level architecture of transformers all the way down to the nitty-gritty of tokenizers and attention masks. You have covered the full pipeline. The key thing here is that these aren't just a bunch of random facts. They form an interconnected, practical, and powerful foundation of skills. And this might be the most important takeaway of all. From now on, when you look at the documentation, the vocabulary is going to sound familiar. The methods will be recognizable. You are now equipped to explore the official Hugging Face Transformers docs all on your own, to learn, to experiment, and to build. You've totally earned this independence. So, you've done the training, you've forged the tools, you've won your first victory, you now have the map, and crucially, the skills to read it. So the only question left is, where will your quest take you next?